greatest honor to introduce the next performer, my first friend at UArts. Yes! It is the wonderful Tori Lewis.
The persona, the ego, and the shadow. You know these words, you know their meanings and their connotations, but when you put them together like that, the persona, the ego, and the shadow, they become the archetypes of Carl Jung's psychology of the human psyche. Yes! Welcome! I'm Tori, and you may be confused right now. But I invite you tonight to join me on a little exploration. The persona is the version of yourself that you show to other people to connect. Your ego is your personality, and your shadow, that's where you put away all the parts about yourself that you find negative. That's where you hide all the emotions that you don't want to deal with. It's where your most true, most vulnerable, most fragile parts of yourself go to hide away. Where have you been hiding? You seem lost within your body and your mind. A beam of light can still remind you who you are. Wounded by the world, your fragile nature needed shelter. In the night, we made a sanctum out of sight and out of mind. Won't you let me take you there? Won't you let me take you there? Let me take you into the garden, into the garden. I'll be there, painting the flowers, give them color. I'll be Try to heal the heart of mind in the garden we find. Try to heal the heart of mind in the garden we find. Inside, inside. I first learned about the concept of the shadow during COVID. From BTS, if you know, you know.
Yes!
As I was spending so much time with myself, I began to explore deeper parts of my personality. And I mean, that just happens as you grow up anyway, right? You learn new things about yourself every day. But I was learning, and I learned what made me tick, what makes me sad, what makes me happy, and most importantly, how I communicate with myself. Now, the shadow gets a bad rep for being a hostile, angry place, but that's only because in most people it lays unexplored. It's lonely, so it acts out. It gets irritated. And as Carl Jung wrote, what irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. And vice versa. When we understand ourselves, it can enable us to understand each other. We hide our shadows away from each other, from ourselves, out of shame. But she's worthy of connection. We just need to let her out. Oh, my lonely heart, she could hang around for days. Would never leave the house, something more than just a phase. She'd eat occasionally, just like she would when she's alone. She'll play the game for free until she dies, until she dies. She howls. She howls as she does, just like a wolf. And I am jealous of her feet, the way she runs from nobody, the way she walks right through the sea, and how she'll make you weep. And as she reads aloud, ankles hanging off the bed, she'll read to nobody, or was it something that she said? She is like the trees, the sun that creeps through her window. She knows her body, the kind that turns you into gold. She howls as she dances. She howls as she does. She howls as she dances. She howls as she does, just like a wolf. All of our instincts and all of our impulses come from our shadow. It's beautiful, this pure place, before it's touched by our overanalyzing thoughts or the world's judgments. I felt most connected to my shadow when I was a child. Before I started caring about who I was, how I fit into this world, I just let myself be. I like to think of the shadow as an inner child. Petulant, reactive, ever-changing. As we grow, this place gets guarded and shoved down, but it doesn't have to be that way. As Carl Jung wrote, the pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense. Sense has its place, of course it does, but I for one wouldn't mind a little more nonsense. Shield and a wooden sword. No mountain dare stand in my way. Even the ocean trembles in my wake. The tide is brave but always retreats. Even the sand it cowers under my feet. My kingdom towers above it all, while I sleep safe and sound in my cardboard walls. Now I bear little resemblance to the king I once was. I bear little resemblance to the king I could become. Maybe paper is paper, maybe kids will be kids, but I wanna remember how to feel like I did. So I draw my sword with the morning sun. I summon the moon as soon as the day is done. The clouds march on my command. Even the rain, it falls according to plan. The trees bow down and give their leaves. I humbly accept their offerings of peace. Now I bear little resemblance to the king I once was. I bear little resemblance to the king I could become. Maybe paper is paper, maybe kids will be kids, but I wanna remember how to feel like I did. I set out to rule the world with only a paper shield and a wooden sword. Now, the emotion that is said to thrive in the shadow is anger. I think anger is fierce. I think it's necessary. I think it's a great motivator for change if it's used correctly. Through my own searching of my own shadow, I found that the emotion that thrives the most is humiliation. And why wouldn't it? You fill your shadow with the parts of yourself that you don't really want to touch. So when it shows itself, you're embarrassed. When you see other people acting the way your shadow acts, you judge them. But when I take a step back and I look at where that humiliation comes from, I think to myself, why should I hide away and be ashamed of my instincts? You know, live and learn and all that, but these are your instincts. Go with the flow. It's important to keep exploring and finding new parts of yourself every day, even the parts you don't like, and accepting the fact that all those parts together make us fully who we are. It's a constant search. I'm constantly looking for myself in every little thing that I do. And sometimes I can't find it. And that's okay too. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep through the jungle of doubt to a river so deep. I've been searching for something taken out of my soul, something I'd never lose, something somebody stole. I don't know why I go walking at night, but I'm tired and I don't want to walk anymore. Hope it doesn't take the rest of my life until I finally find what I've been looking for. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep through the desert of truth to a river so deep. I must be searching for something taken out of my soul, something I'd never lose, something somebody stole. Even though I go walking at night, but I'm tired and I don't want to walk anymore. Hope it doesn't take the rest of my life until I finally find what I've been looking for. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep through the valley of faith to a river so deep. We all end in the ocean, we all start in the stream. We're all carried along by the river of dreams. In the middle of the night. Now I need you all to sing along, okay? Join me. Just do what I do. I believe in you. Woo! In the middle of the, I go walking 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 in the middle of the. Thank you all. Now, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be back at 8 with 4 more amazing performers. Thank you.